friends, Paul here in the RoJoBe Music Workshop, and welcome to the September 2025 shop update. Okay, so this is the first shop update I've done since June. I didn't do one in July and I didn't do one in August, and from memory the June one was the first one for a couple of months as well. So I had been, up until earlier this year, I had been doing a shop update every month. I've been doing that for a year and a half or so, maybe a bit longer. And to be honest, I've kind of slowed down a bit in recent months. I'm not buying so many gadgets and tools and bits and pieces. I'm still doing my projects, but they tend to be longer projects now. So I've kind of slowed things down a little bit. And so, I was starting to struggle for content for a shop update every month. So I'm not going to be doing them as frequently from now on, but I will still do them. When interesting things crop up, then, I will do shop updates, but they're probably not going to be every month from now on. They'll be whenever they crop up. I want to do at least 4 or 5 a year, I guess, maybe a little bit more. But it just depends on what crops up. I've kind of slowed things down a little bit. At one point, like the end of last year, I decided I was going to actually close my shop, as in selling instruments, and just concentrate on the working on instruments. Well, I've kind of retracted on that a little bit. More on that in a moment. So, as I said, I am still doing the projects, and regular viewers of mine will know about this particular project, which is the classical guitar conversion to steel strung acoustic guitar. The project's been cracking on. It's been taking a bit longer than I would have hoped, and to be honest, I've spent a lot more time on this neck and fretboard than I would have done if I just, cut the old one down. But like I said, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to keep the classical guitar neck as a spare, just in case I ever need it for any future jobs. So, I replaced it with this one, an acoustic guitar neck. It has been a lot of work to get that thing fitted to the body, but it's done now. And I enjoy the project, so it's not a problem for me. And I certainly won't sell this guitar at any kind of profit as far as my labour is concerned. A huge loss, to be honest, but it's not really about that for me. Off camera, well, not actually off camera, I did record it, but the footage got lost. I glued the bridge onto the body, and since then I've sanded the whole guitar up to about 1,000 grit, all over the body, the neck, the headstock, and as you can see, I've done some filling on the body as well. So wherever you see filler were low spots on the body, and it does look a lot worse than it is. And as I said, it's all sanded to 1,000 grit. It's really smooth. There are still a couple of areas I need to touch up. There's a high spot just there, and there's a couple of low spots still on this edge, but very minor. So the rest of it is beautifully smooth. It's not quite ready for painting yet. I mean, as I said, I've still got to do a little bit of filler again, but just a small amount. Then sand it again all over, ready for painting. So in the last video of this project, or the last current video of this project, I did say that I was undecided what colour I'm going to paint this, and I still am. So the next stage after the sanding is to prime it. I'll put a couple of coats of primer on it and wet sand it between the coats to get it really smooth. But I haven't decided yet what colour I'm going to paint this guitar. Bearing in mind, it's not for me, it's not for a customer, it's going to be for general sale in my shop. So I want suggestions from you, the viewers, as to what colour to paint this. Leave the suggestions in the comments below, as many as possible please. I haven't already actually had a couple of suggestions from viewers, and I have to say there's one that I really like at the moment. I'm not giving anything away, not the name, the colour or anything else, but like I said, I've had a couple of suggestions already, and one of them I quite like the idea of, but I still want more and more suggestions, so please leave in the comments below what colour you think I should paint this guitar. So you can see the style of it. It's a half cutaway electro acoustic guitar with quite a nice, in my opinion, shaped headstock. So what colour do you think? Suggestions in the comments below please. Give me as many as possible, because I actually want to choose a colour that a viewer has suggested and mention them in the video. And you know, rather than, I mean, I could choose a colour, no problem at all, but I want a little bit of interaction here. So I'm going to end up choosing one of the suggestions from one of the viewers. And like I said, if that's you, then I'll mention the colour and your name. If you prefer me not to, just leave that in the comments as well, but I'll give you a mention. So I have to say though that at the moment this project is on hold, only for a short time, a week or two. The problem is I think I've got arthritis or osteoarthritis, because when I'm doing the manual work with chisels and files and sandpaper and you know, things like that, my hands really hurt. So they're still hurting right now, and it's been a week since I've worked on this guitar. So I'm going to take a little bit of a break from it, just for a short while, just to let my hands recover a bit, because they're still pretty sore, and then I will be coming back to that. So that's one reason why I'm putting this project on hold. The other reason, let me just check time. The other reason is that, I mean, the reason I was doing this guitar, the conversion, is because I had no acoustic guitars in stock in my shop. Because like I said, I was planning on closing the shop part of the shop, but I've changed my mind on that. So, on that note, I have recently bought some more acoustic guitars. So, you know, I've got them on the display in the shop already. Didn't buy a lot, I've got 10 of them, 10 acoustic guitars. Some of them are really nice, some are just average. Oh, excuse me. So this one, I really like the colour scheme on this, and I'm not sure how well you'll see that on camera, but it's basically a metallic fleck black gloss finish, and it's really nice. And the back of it, I'm not sure what wood that is, but it's a light coloured wood, and it's all solid wood, really nice. You know, a couple of unusual guitars. This one has quite a nice design on the headstock and the fretboard, kind of planet themed. We've got this one here, which is quite unusual on the top. It's got different style sound holes. I did have a couple of ukuleles with this style on there as well. And boy, it also has the composite back. So it's not wood, it's basically plastic, but it's called composite, and it is, I'm not sure the exact material that it's made from, but you know, there's a couple of unusual ones. This one here, it's a relatively cheap one, but it's a thin body, and it's also electroacoustic. It's got a decent preamp in there, a Fishman. So yeah, we've got some decent stuff in. And also these 4 ukuleles. This style, not really my cup of tea, but some people like them. So, you know, I bought a total of 10 guitars and 4 ukuleles for the equivalent of just over £600, or about $850 thereabouts. So I'm really happy with that. So I am getting back into selling again. You know, I want to keep that going. Now, one other thing I have purchased recently is another laser engraver. Yes, I know, I'm a collector. So let me just run you through once again what I have as far as laser engravers. So this was the first one I bought. I'm not sure the correct pronunciation, whether it's Daja, Daja, Daha, I don't know. I don't even know what country it originates from. It's, you know, it's a small machine and it's only 3 watt, but don't let that fool you. This is no toy. This is a great bit of kit. Being only a 3 watt laser, that means you get a very, very fine laser. So it's really good for fine detail. So things like key fobs, name tags, small items. I mean, it's only got a working area of 8 centimeters by 8 centimeters. So, but it's really, really good for the small detailed items. But I also needed a bigger machine. So I bought this one, which is a different brand. This is Atom Stack, and this is the A5 M50 Pro. So that small machine is a 3 watt. This one is a 5 watt. Actually, it's a 5.5 watt. And this has a working area of 400 millimeters by 410 millimeters. So quite a bit bigger than the other one. And absolutely awesome machine. Really, really good. And it's still very fine and detailed. So it's really great. Now, I liked it so much that I bought another one. And again, same brand, Atom Stack, but this is the A10. So the first one was the A5, this is the A10. So this is 10 watt. So a very similar machine in actually what it does, even though it's twice the power. So, you know, obviously that's good for, you know, more depth of engraving. And yeah, so 2 absolutely awesome machines, and they're the same size, so they have the working area 400 mils by 410 mils, and I like them so much, I bought another one, which brings us to this monster. So again, it's the same brand, but this is the A20 Max, and it's Max because it is literally twice the size as the other 2. So they're 400 by 410, this one is 400 by 850 millimeters working area. And there is, I mean, the other 2 are A5 Pro, A10 Pro, there is also an A20 Pro, which is the same size as those 2, the 400 by 410, and that one is a 20 watt. Now this one is a bigger machine, and it's the Max, and if you look at the laser module on the 10 compared to the one on the 20, you see it's much bigger. This is actually a 22 watt. So the 20 Pro is a 20 watt and the 20 Max is a 22 watt. Now that doesn't sound like a lot of difference, but believe me, it is. It does make quite a bit of difference. I've basically got the full collection now. Not true, because they also do an A30, but I haven't got the room for that. And to be honest, I don't think I will really need it. And is it overkill to have 5 laser engravers? Yes. Is it overkill to have 4 laser engravers? Yes. But you know, I'm the same with anything. If I've got something, you know, more than one thing, if it's part of a set and the set's not complete, that gives me a headache. I've got to complete the set. Another example is, you know, I've got a set of spanners that go from, combination spanners, that go from 7 mil, so it's open end and ring spanner, 7 mil up to 16 mil, which is an odd number to stop at. And because 16 mil is not a common spanner size, but 17 mil is. So I thought, why did they stop this set at 16? It should have been in 17. So that was giving me a headache. So I actually bought 4 more spanners, a 17, 18, 19 and a 20 mil. So now that set's complete. And it's the same with my laser engravers. I had a 3 watt, a 5 watt and a 10 watt. I thought I've got to get a 20 watt as well. And you know, they're all different machines because of the difference in power and working area. You know, they're for different jobs. I mean, the A20, the big one here, is a very powerful machine, and it's not going to be good for fine detail. You know, small. And why would you use an 850mm machine to engrave something 8mm? You know, or 8cm rather. You know, that's kind of pointless. So that's going to be for the bigger jobs. Which don't require as much fine detail. So, you know, for example, you know, shop signs, that kind of thing. You know, where you want big lettering or logos, but you don't worry about the fine detail looking up close because they're not going to be seen up close. So that machine will be for bigger jobs or jobs where I need a lot more power. They've all got their uses. They're all very, very versatile. Even the little 3-watt, it's surprising what that thing can do. So, you know, there will be other laser engraving projects in the future. I did a quick test with that machine the other day, and it burned through the workpiece, the protector underneath, the rug on my table, and the table. And I ran it for about 3 seconds, and was, you know, I knew it was more powerful, but it was just even more so than I imagined. So I haven't actually used the machine yet. It's a whole new set of parameters to learn to use that big machine. It's a completely different machine to the other two. So I've still got to learn how to use it properly before I let it loose on you know, customer order projects, whatever. So I will be doing some practicing with that machine and you know, see what it does, and it is going to be a very useful machine. So waffling. So as I said, this project is on hold for a short while, just while my hands recover. You know, a couple of weeks or so, no more than that. But I want your suggestions, what colour to paint it. Leave them in the comments below. Many, many, many suggestions, please. As it's going to be for general sale, it's got to appeal to as many or as big a customer spectrum as possible. So no bright colours or, you know, outlandish designs, anything like that. Fairly plain, really, but probably darker colours. You know, no sort of bright pinks or yellows or orange or anything like that. They will appeal to, you know, 1 or 2 people, but not the general public. So it's got to be something that will appeal to a wide range of people. But it doesn't have to be uninteresting, okay? So give me your ideas. Like I said, I've got a couple already, and one I really like. Let's see if you can come up with a better idea. So yeah, I will be getting back to this, not too long, a couple of weeks, amongst many other projects as well. Just got to let my hands rest a bit, get the movement back in them without the soreness. I am getting back into the selling again. I will have more instruments coming soon, but not for a while yet. Yeah, I'm just gonna, you know, try to make a few changes over the next few months. Try and improve things. Not to say that things are not going well, because they are. The school, the shop, the laser engraving is a bit slow, but that will pick up. Our postal office, multi-franchise postal office, which we're now running as a shop as well. We sell snacks and drinks and ice creams and, you know, toys and all sorts of things, and it's doing really well. Okay, so enough waffling. Hopefully the next video will be getting back into this, but I'm not sure yet. In the meantime, please look after yourselves, look after each other, and we will see you soon. Peace out.